Hello, you. Happy holidays. It's your MAGFAST weekly update for today, Saturday. Oh my God, it's just 10 days until Christmas, the 15th of December, 2018. And we're going to do something slightly different today. I've got with me my how to put this team, my web and visuals and animation team. Tony is in your upper left-hand corner of your screen right now. Tony does all the stuff on the website, so when the website is looking gorgeous and beautiful, you can thank Tony. A lot of the time, Tony is working with images from Philip, who's in the lower part of your screen at the moment. Hi, Philip. And it's actually Philip's work that we're going to be... Damn Albany train always goes past us while we're doing this. We're going to be focused on Philip's work mostly today in packaging. Because packaging is this whole area in and of itself. Whole companies, whole mini cities in the Far East are just dedicated just to making packaging. And for us, it's really important because it's the very first impression, and it could never be more important than for you guys, because you're going to be the first people ever to touch MAGFAST, and before you touch MAGFAST, you're going to touch the packaging. So even though it's still months to go before we're shipping, we're putting a lot of work into packaging at the moment. And we were just getting all ready to do the packaging, and something flashed onto Philip's screen. You want to screen share, Philip? We were going to do packaging, and then I just saw this animation that we did a couple of weeks ago, and it's so great. I wanted to share it to you first. Actually, just come back to just unshare for a second, because I want to share something on the camera. We're making a series of little promotional pieces at the moment that show how MAGFAST works with all different kinds of things that you might have, and it's a little bit of a niche product, but you may have, or you may know of these things. What are they called? The earpods, right?
Earpods.
The earpods. So they're Bluetooth headphones, and I resisted them for a very long time, but several people said that they were really good, and I eventually got a pair last year. And they're terrific. They're not for everyone. They're obviously more compatible, I think more easily compatible with Apple stuff. But it's an incredibly successful product for Apple, so we figured let's show how it works with MAGFAST stuff, and we made a little animation. Philip, you want to screen share and just show that quickly, and then we'll get on with the packaging, which is why we're really here. So there's a little voiceover that'll go, you're looking at, and do you see how he builds these models are all built kind of by hand in the computer, and you can see the AirPods going in there, and we've got the little AirPod kind of, I don't know if you could see there because it's kind of a little bit jerky in this rendering, but the little AirPod looks up around the room and notices MAGFAST wall, and then whoop, jumps on top like that. And you obviously already had the wall models, Philip. What did we do for these AirPods? I think we found some online and purchased the model, didn't we? But you could have modeled it. We just figured it was quicker to purchase it.
It was cheap. It was a really good model that we bought like for like $40, which is cheaper than modeling it from scratch and faster.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's sort of in Philip's workstation. Philip, can you play the kind of what the finished animation looks like? So notice the focus pull there. Here they come. They pop in. Bloop, bloop. And then here's a little look around. And then look at the... I don't know if you noticed the little jerk. I think that's... I want to congratulate you again, Philip. I think it's true genius to take a pair of headphones and make them look like a couple of cheeky kids kind of hopping on something for a ride or something. It's like there was a milk float or a train going past, and whoop, and they hop onto it like that. Brilliant. All right, but we're here to talk about packaging. If you can unshare for a second, I'm going to go to the board. There's a little teaser preview. So packaging is, as I said, it's incredibly important. It's always important. It's even more important at the start because, frankly, the first few folks, you folks, when you get it, if you're not thrilled, I just wasted the last 6 years of my life. No, but it's incredibly important that not only the product's great, but it feels great as you're opening the packaging. And if you notice what a lot of the big guys do is that they'll do even better packaging at the start than they do when a product is more mature, because you're defining, the first few people who look at MAGFAST are going to be defining what's the public perception. So Packaging has to be gorgeous. It also has to be green. It can never be perfectly green, of course, because we're using materials, but we're going to use recycled as much as we can. But the other thing that's really important is to waste as little space as possible. Right? Oftentimes, doesn't it infuriate you almost every day? You see some Amazon package and there's this tiny little, where's this little thing I got the other day? Look, I got this little key. This is a security key. Yubica, you might like to check out Yubica. I got this thing the other day. It came in an envelope, this bloody big. I don't understand it. Boxes arrive with that. So what we're going to do with the packaging is to have as little space that isn't charger in the box as possible. However, if we were just doing that, we would simply shrink wrap the things and send them to you, right? But there are other requirements as well. It's got to be fully protective, but it also needs to be a packaging system because we have a whole load of different products, right? There's Pro Kit that many, and God bless you, many of the folks watching now have ordered an entire Pro Kit, which is pretty much all of our chargers in one kit. But then folks have ordered individual items, wall individually, and air extreme, air, life extreme, road. So we need a packaging system so that when people have ordered several and the box arrives, they don't just open it up and there's a jumble of all different sized boxes and so on. So what we came up with is the notion of a packaging system, which I think we can better show you on Philip's screen than me designing it on the board. But the idea is that if you order one of something, then you get one. But if you order a Pro Kit and one of something, or you order a Pro Kit and three of something, you order two Pro Kits, that we can stack them together, kind of like building blocks. So with that in mind, Philip, you want to just put that main picture back on the screen that we had just now. So what you can see here is a Pro Kit on the left there, and then each of the other items fits into a box whose, how can I say this accurately, whose bottom has the same profile as the side of the Pro Kit box. And it was actually done the other way around. The individual items, the small boxes were defined first to fit everything, and then we said, well, can we make a Pro Kit box that then accommodates it with two, it's going to be like a chocolate box inside with two layers. And so what we can now do, because outer cartons are very easy to they're very easy and cheap to produce in small quantities, we can actually produce outer cartons that accommodate any length. And that just move the mouse around on the Pro Kit there is I think, is it 30 centimeters long?
Yeah.
For that, which for those of us who speak English is about 12 inches, about a foot. Do I have a 12-inch ruler here? Don't have one handy, but it's basically it's a foot long. And then there are two heights of box for all of the other products. If you look going from the left there, Time, Air, Road, and Life. All right, if you notice, they're all of one height, and then you go to Life Extreme. And it's higher because remember it has the bump on it, so we need to accommodate the bump. Then there's shorter box for the jumper cables. Anyway, if you don't mind me staying in centimeters for a second, what you've got on the left is show the length of 30 centimeters with the mouse there. All right, so you've got a length of 30 centimeters from there along there. All right, and then you've got heights of each of these of, what are they, Philip? 4 centimeters, and another 4. Those are all 4, and there's a 6. And then it's a 4, and then it's a 6. They're in a kind of slightly jumbled order there. So that's the system. Philip prepared a bunch of, and of course he builds all of this in 3D with the wireframes and stuff like you just saw. But I asked him to render some pictures so us normal human beings could more easily understand it. So there it is viewed from above. What else have you got in the picture? Oh, this is pretty cool. So these are the individuals. With and without the lids on the boxes. So in the top half of your screen here, those are the boxes with the lids taken off. And you can see it's actually a pretty tight fit for the largest ones, for Air and for Life Extreme. They go in there with our minimal, what did we say our minimum was around the edge, Philip? Quarter inch. So the minimum of safety packaging around the edge is a 1/4 inch between the item. This is with good packaging, a 1/4 inch between the item itself and the outside world. So when you layer in the foam, and we haven't actually yet determined what that interior layer is going to be, But it looks like a kind of foam here. That's why I'm calling it foam. Probably go for a kind of a recycled cardboard, as long as we can find one that looks gorgeous. So minimum of a 1/4 inch for all of the layers of packaging. And as you can see, you do wind up with some amount of wasted space. But I think if you compare it to a lot of the packages that you'll be opening this Christmas, it's actually minimal. And the truth is, if you look at the point to the three that have the most space around them, they're time, road, and life. Time is always sold individually, but road and life, most of them will be being shipped inside a Pro kit, and so the amount of space inside there is actually less per item, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? And then the bottom half there is what the boxes look like from on top, and we've just decided to go for this very simple, just have gorgeous. These are not the final pictures. We're going to have special photography done for the covers of the boxes, but you can see in this mock-up just gorgeous pictures of each product on the top. And if you can go back to the other shot, I'll show us another one with some angle. And we put the name of the product, on the side there, so you can see what it is. And one of our goals with the box, this is also to do with being green, is to have packaging that you don't ever throw away. We want to try and give you boxes that are so nice, you choose to use them for keeping your, something or other collection in them. We want to make them that nice because we think that's an important part of being green. If we give you a useful box, we help you to tidy up your house. We save you from buying a plastic container at the Container Store or something, and we think that that's an important part of being green. It's not only how they're made, but actually making them nice enough that they're usable. And so with that in mind, the interior part will be removable. Sometimes these boxes come and they're beautiful, but you can't actually get the interior. If you just point to road there for a second, right, you can see there's the interior piece that road fits into. Well, that needs to be removable so that you can then use the box for something else, right? Because otherwise, you're going to throw the box away if it isn't usable for something else. All right. I think you prepared some more pictures from different angles, hadn't you? Yeah. So here's the Pro Kit box. Here's an interior. You can see with the little information system. Obviously, there's going to be some regulatory compliance stuff. There's going to be some minimal instructions. There are 1 or 2 little upgrades that we're doing that we're not announcing in advance, and we'll highlight those for you in the information system inside. And as you can see, the tips and everything are laid out there. And this is a work in progress. If you're noticing the thing that I just noticed about the layout on the left, it's because this is work in progress and not final. Super. These really look fantastic, Philip. Really great. Oh, and so I remember I said it's like a box of chocolates. So just click back to the previous one, please, Philip. Yeah. So here it is with the top layer in place, and if you lift out that layer on the left there and place it down in front, now you've got the lower layer there. So we're really excited about this. We think it's absolutely gorgeous. Each will have a kind of protective layer on it, which serves to make it look nice for opening, for the unboxing, but also serves it because as these products move through the factory, they're actually handled by a bunch of different people, and so the shells need to be protected from scratching. So we're going to have a little protective layer over them that performs that function in the factory, and then also makes it kind of really nice to sort of unwrap them as well. This is super, Philip. All right. Here's Life, an individual pack of Life. With the top off on the left and the top itself is on the right. The little information packet goes right in the front there. And you see the way that this is a system. If you go back to the previous, look at the information pack in the front there. So the information pack remains the same size regardless of which product it is. So that only has to be produced once. It's a system. It's a packaging system. Any others, Philip?
No, I think that's it.
Is that it? Super. All right. Well, unshare and let's wrap this thing up. Was that interesting? I hope you guys found that interesting at home. Let's have a round of applause for Philip. Fantastic work there. Really, really pleased with that. Philip works at incredible speed. The very first time we worked together, well, there was the very first that we found him online 5 or 6 years ago, was it? It was 6 years ago now, yeah.
Something like that.
And and gave him like a tiny little job to do, and it kind of came back overnick like that. And then the part 2 of the job, it actually was more complicated, and it took me longer to write the brief. It was actually the back. Do I have one here? It was essentially the old version 1, but it was this. He originally modeled this for the front view of the old product, and then I said, well, we need the back modeled as well. And by the time I'd written a brief of kind of like the scoops and the thing and the area for the label to go and this, that, and the other, I think, as I recall, it took me 3 hours to do the brief, and what did it take you, like 90 minutes to do the actual work. So fantastic work. That's your update for this week. Questions? I know you have no concerns, but if you did, then that would also be hello@magfast.com. Hello@magfast.com. We will do an update next week, and what we're going to have for you next week is actually we're going to have a gift for you to give someone else this Christmas. If you've got someone that you're kind of short of, the gift is going to be that they get to join the party and watch the rest of the development. All right, nothing is shipping in time for Christmas. But we're gonna give you a few walls next week. We'll send you a personal link, and you can maybe get something for someone that you love for Christmas. Okay, so watch out for next week's update. For now, I'm Seymour. Say goodbye, Tony. Say goodbye, Philip, and we will see you next week. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas.